Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So again, sorry for uploading really late. I've overall, I'm gonna turn my volume down just in case anyone contacts me on Hangouts. But overall, this has been a very different type of week. My birthday is coming up very soon, so that's exciting. But yeah, so I'm gonna start getting back into my daily schedule starting today, and yeah, so pretty much everything will be fixed after since break is over, and I'm starting back up at school. So we're gonna start off with the Western Coast as usual. So actually, I didn't introduce our candidates like I should have. Today we have Tom Steyer, the billionaire who has been running the need to impeach campaign against President Trump about impeaching President Trump and having people call the congressman and saying things. Um, to persuade them to vote for impeachment of President Trump, listing out the reasons as to why he should be removed from office. And his name is getting very vocal in the news media. People are considering him for a run, which is why I've decided to do a video on this. And the actual results of this, I'm considering about doing an election night later on, but the results will definitely be different. Approval rating polls will definitely change by then, so things may be a little bit different, but this is just a prediction video so we can have a precursor up to what I'm going to be doing for my next few election nights. So I'm going to be doing more Trump-based candidates now. Unless you guys have other other suggestions for election nights, I'll pretty much be sticking to Trump, Pence, people like that. So overall, we're going to keep going through this map. So we have the safe Trump states. Steyer isn't really someone who appeals to minorities. Sure, he would be able to have the businessman appeal. That's going to help him in the Rust Belt. But then we look at states like Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, and Iowa. They really need a spontaneous African American vote to overcome the Republican advantage there, and it's not likely to come with Tom Steyer. He could be perceived as a strong candidate, depending on who you're asking, but one thing that everyone agrees on is that he's not inspiring to the African American community, and that's something that's really going to hurt him. So I'm filling in the safe Steyer states now, which is essentially 213 electoral votes for Tom Steyer and 230 for President Trump. Now we're going to get a couple out of the way. Going over to a state like Colorado, we know the state is usually reliably Democratic. It didn't really have a chance of flipping in 2016. I mean, sure, it was close, like as in under 5%, but it did somewhat handily go for Hillary Clinton compared to where other swing states went for Donald Trump. And then we go over to the Rust Belt. Now, Michigan is likely going to flip back. Although Tom Steyer does not have any personal experience, he is a billionaire, and he definitely has the white working class appeal of a billionaire, and someone who brought their way up to the billionaire status. And he admits that he is well off and that Democrats should be focusing on people not like him. And that definitely plays a message to the people that are unemployed in Michigan, especially with Donald Trump's approval rating being so low in this state. That's definitely going to help him. And then we go over to a state like Pennsylvania. That would also help Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer would probably win the general election based off the fact that, not probably win the general, probably win the state of Pennsylvania because of the fact that he is a stronger candidate in aspects of being a Democrat who can also appeal to the white working class. It will take a very long time for the Republican Party to win back the white working class the same way Donald Trump did after Trump is out of office. He did something very spontaneous, and they're not likely to find another candidate like him. And Pennsylvania voters, his approval rating is in the low 30s here as well. Same thing in the state of Wisconsin, so I'm going to fill in all these states now. So we have 268 electoral votes for Tom Steyer because of the Rust Belt flipping back in my prediction for Tom Steyer, giving him 268 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 230 right now. We're going to go down to Florida. That one's not likely to flip in this scenario. Tom Steyer does not have the experience factor or pretty much anything else that would convince a lot of those voters that voted for Trump more than they voted for Obama in 2012. Sorry, not 2012. In 2012. And overall, that's going to land Trump another victory in the state of Florida. However, in the state of Nevada, that state I also think would go to President Trump. Tom Steyer doesn't really have the Latino appeal there. Sure, Hillary Clinton did win the state, but she lost the Rust Belt. And I've given the Rust Belt to Tom Steyer, but not Nevada. And why, you may ask? Because Nevada needs high Latino turnout for Democrats to win. They were able to do that by somewhat of a Tim Kaine factor and Donald Trump's Hispanic rhetoric from the beginning of the campaign. that really hurt Trump in the state of Nevada, yet Clinton only won it by 2%. But then we go over to the Rust Belt where it was even narrower for Trump, and his approval ratings are lower in these three states than it is in Nevada. And that's surprising, considering that Trump won Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, yet lost Nevada. It's a lot of different dynamics, different things that Donald Trump appeals to. And then we're going to go over to a state like New Hampshire. So I think New Hampshire would go to Tom Steyer, ultimately giving him the presidency by 2 electoral votes. And the reasoning behind it is New Hampshire would probably hold its democratic values. It definitely bashed Trump for what he did. His approval rating dropped after he called it a drug-infested den, and it's continued to stay below the 40% mark, where it was 45% in mid-July. And his approval rating has dropped there, and that's not going to help him whatsoever. He would most likely lose the state of New Hampshire, and he's even considered to be losing to John Kasich, according to Republican primary polls in the state of New Hampshire, which does not show unity amongst the Republican Party, which would definitely hurt him in a general election campaign. And the final electoral vote we're calling is from Maine's 2nd Congressional District, which would likely stay Republican. It overwhelmingly voted for Trump, and it's not likely to flip anytime soon. Unless there's an awe-inspiring candidate or another Obama candidate, someone tied to the Obama administration that can win back the Maine voters that Barack Obama won by double digits as well as Trump. So this is the final electoral map, 272 electoral votes for Tom Steyer to 266 for President Trump. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you all tomorrow.